Yeah, I applaud you for you pulled the grown man super run walk. Like you cut him off, you grabbed it. It feels like a National Lampoon's movie or something, you know? You're just like...
How's it going, everybody? Tony here from Kapowcast, and we are bringing you another episode of the Shut Up and Take My Money, the only show where every week we have to ask ourselves, $200 session of therapy or a $400 Galacticis Haslab? Yeah. Joining me today is John Brewski.
What's up?
He just, for those of you listening, he gave the finger gun.
You know, I am so bad now. Like,
I know. I've caught myself multiple times. Like, these people can't see you that are listening to you on the podcasting apps.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, no, I openly admit to being a piece of shit in that nature of the matter. How
many years of podcasting have we done?
I know.
The moment that we switch over to vidcasting. Hey, screw you guys.
Nope, done with that. I don't have to explain my mannerisms now. But yeah, no, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, thumbs up button, all that stuff to help us out with the YouTube algorithm and help us grow as a channel. Same thing with the podcast platforms, but you can subscribe, download, whatever the button says that you have to do on whatever platform you're listening to, because they can't seem to find a one thing.
Oh man,
every platform has its own thing.
You know, do the thumbs up and thumbs down, man.
Yeah,
YouTube switched what, like 10, 12 years ago on that, from stars to that.
We can just all get on the same page here.
Seriously, man.
It would make things a lot easier. But we are starting out this show with a new segment. Hopefully it's enjoyed by the people that do this show, called Show and Tell. Basically, we're going to show you or talk about a little bit of a noteworthy pickups of the week, whether it be through the mail or at the local store. And John, we'll start with you since you're the only other person besides me.
Oh, thank you very much. So I know that there's a divisive character that I'm going to bring up here, not in toy wise, but in business wise. I stopped by the local GameStop. I can hear the boos and hisses from one side already. And you know, they've quite frankly been having sales like every week, it seems like, on their collectibles. There's one thing that I saw there that I had to grab, and it got me. It was Funko. It was the 13 days till Halloween Funko. They're like mini Funkos. It's what do you call that?
Advent
like the
calendar?
Yes, an advent calendar, except it's 13 days. You get different little Funko minis like Annabelle, It, Beetlejuice, you know, it's just a bunch of other ones too. Freddy, Jason, etc. I was really happy about that. I didn't know that was a thing, so I was like, cool. There has been one thing that's been catching my eye that I've gone back and forth on. Now, I'm not a big Transformers guy. Like, I have maybe a couple of them, but there's nothing that makes me go, oh yeah, I really got to get Transformers. I'm kind of in the same boat as like you and Mike when we were talking about it. Like, I just never had the patience as a kid to flip them back and forth. But this one, for whatever reason, hit me, and I got a great price on it from GameStop. I will show you. What do they call that? The Blackbird. Ultimate Expanse is the Transformers name, and it transforms into a Cyclops-looking guy. Partially why it caught my attention was because if you guys recall, these little guys, those little pocket, like Mighty Max, X-Men in the 90s, they did that, you know, when Polly Pocket and Mighty Max were a huge thing. X-Men had to get on it. I had a handful of those, so I saw those along with that cool Blackbird that transforms. One of the cool things as a trademark nerd, I didn't realize this, but they actually have on the back of the package that Lockheed Martin Blackbird, SR-71 Blackbird is a trademark and all that. Like, I was cracking up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never really thought about that, but they actually had to get the licensing to get the SR-71 being made. And it's just kind of mind-blowing.
Especially it being so monumental to the field of aviation. It's still kind of just like this miracle thing that like we're like, oh, I don't know how it works.
How did it work?
It works and it goes fast.
Yeah.
I could spend an hour alone just talking about that aircraft in general. Like that's one of those like a remarkable things where I'm just like, yeah, so the O-rings and seals of everything pretty much just blow out and fucking give way every flight. They have to replace all back in. One of the most expensive fucking things in the history of mankind, the SR-71.
Wow, man. It's, just cool as hell seeing it. Definitely crazy design. So I got that. And my one last thing, I got my email today from Big Bad Toy Store. My Wave 1 of Revelation has been shipped.
Oh!
Or is shipping, I should say. It hasn't been shipped, is shipping. So it's coming.
Before we were to record today, I shot over to Target and I seen Skeletor from Revelation. Really? And I was like, wow, holy crap. Like, it was just Skeletor. It wasn't the whole rest of the wave, but I was still like, I can't believe. Yeah, I was like, I can't believe I seen this. But my show and tell last week's Saturday, I just made a random I need to make myself feel good trip to Target, which turned out pretty well because I actually found one of the minifigures that I always say, if I see it, I'll buy it. And it was actually one of the lines that I've cut down drastically on, but it was the Gorilla Grodd from the McFarlane line, which I'm a sucker for beefy action figures. And of course, like Gorilla Grodd being this size, like I was all about it. I was like, yeah, that's happening. So I picked that up. And then when we were supposed to record today, I ended up shooting out and doing some errands because of some scheduling issues. And so I decided to swing by and do my weekly Target run for NECA Turtles stuff, or NECA in general. Mm-hmm. And I was greeted by something pretty amazing. I'm super jazzed about it, but the Ultimate Foot Soldier.
Wow.
And here's the story. So I said I was going to get one of these. As you can count, there's two of these in my hand. Now, here's the thing. I walk into Target, and my Taylor Target, you beeline it to the back, hang a left, and then go down a little bit past the entertainment center where the TVs and stuff are.
Oh, yeah.
So
to the smallest NECA section.
To the smallest NECA
at any Target.
And I've had the most luck at Taylor finding
that is amazing, man.
So I'm walking in and I'm walking towards the back, and there's a guy similar stature to myself walking in front of me at a very a much quicker pace. And I'm looking at him and I'm watching his body language, and he's checking his phone, and I go, I think I recognize this guy. I think this is the same guy that a month ago I seen with a cart full of Pokemon cards.
Oh, gosh.
And I said, not today, brother. So I cut through the men's clothing section to the very, very back of the store and beeline it like straight down to the NECA section, beat him there, and grab both of those foot soldiers and walk away.
Yeah.
And he pretty much got to the back, looked at me walking away, and left.
Yeah.
Flash forward to checkout. This is the good moment. This is the good moment. So I'm checking out, and I turn around and I catch eyes with him again, and he looks at me, and I give him the Indiana Jones smirk and I take off. The hat tip, and I just take off. I'm like, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba. These belong in a museum.
It's one thing when it's like an actual collector, like, hey, we look out for each other, right?
Yeah.
You want to, but the sad thing is the area that we live in, and I know if you constantly watch any of our episodes, we call it the Bermuda Triangle of collecting. and it is known in the Midwest area that it's just like, don't even bother to try to collect anything down there because it's gone. And it's not just because not only are you dealing with collectors, but you're dealing with resellers, and you're obviously dealing with, POSs that they just want to make a quick buck because they know that they can sell it for a lot higher on eBay or Mercari or wherever. And
Shit,
unfortunately,
we're even competing with our local comic book stores as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, there is that aspect of it too. And I mean, these people have been around for a while. Like, if you talk to anyone in sort of any of these businesses, they'll let you know. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we got the regular guy. Like, there's a guy that everyone called the Superman guy around here because he would constantly, that's all he would was just be wearing a Superman shirt going to each, like, Toys R Us and KB Toys and stuff. Yeah. So, like, there are certain guys that people get at. So it's definitely, I don't feel bad. I know Mike has had some of those situations too, where it is like, it's just become one of those things. I feel like we live in the 90s again with like baseball cards and comic books, that it's just like, people know that these are going to fetch a good amount of money. So you're even lucky if they ever go on the shelf, because usually someone in the back's already got them stowed away, and they're the ones that are selling them. Yeah.
Or they're selling them off and getting a cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy slips him a $20 and goes, thanks for the hookup, Brandon.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. So yeah, I applaud you for you pulled the grown man super run walk. Like, you cut him off, you grabbed it. It feels like a National Lampoon's movie or something. You're just like, man, I feel like, how old am I and I'm doing this? But it still feels good. I love you to the.
I feel like we should make like a sketch video of like it'd be like a one of those documentaries, like In the Wild documentaries. Like, so the collector sees the scalper across the way and realizes the chances of getting his collectible are slim. So the collector becomes the hunter.
Homo inferior is there once again, waiting in line at Targets.
The Delta cuck came up upon him.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you found those randomly in the wild. I think it was Mike said that he randomly saw Muckman at the store.
Yeah.
And that blew me away. That's one of those that I thought, hey, if I see it at the store, I'll probably pick it up. I'm not gonna lie. But that's also one of those that I didn't want to be like, hey, can you pick that up for me? Because then once again, I'm just like, oh, how much now do I owe you guys? Oh, crap.
I can be your dealer, baby. With the NECA stuff, like if like Mike was expressing like how he would be pissed if he found it in the wild after pre-ordering it, I could give two shits less. Like, I've pre-ordered it, whatever. The stress of it all, if I can relieve it, is worth the $15 of shipping that I'll pay. Like,
there's no hunt around here anymore. There's just, it's not fun. The only time that's been fun is like when you and me have gone to random GameStops just to film, what can we find?
Exactly. When you take out the actual collecting aspect of the toy hunting, that's when it's fun. When you go out with friends and just go, all right, let's see what fucking shit we can find in this pile of dog shit town we live in.
Yeah.
That's when it's fun, because it's you take the stressor out of it, and you're just like, I'm just out hanging out with friends, trying to find cool shit to buy, and that's it. And we're just happen to have a video camera on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into the plastic goodness news, and something a little bit different. And you kind of sparked this last week with the Kickstarter that you brought up for the kind of the G.I. Joe guys, the Strike Force, which is funny because I just learned that one of the guys, or the guy that works on that, is actually an old dude from Hasbro.
Yes.
And he's also working on this line with this infamous action figure YouTuber, Shartimism Prime, called Street Humans, which holy crap, like I feel like something's kind of like working in the midst with this this guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
We're terrible with names, man. Like we're just horrible. But yeah, so Shartimism Prime is bringing us his own action figure line, which will be he was saying was kind of more of an army building line of like street thugs, and which I'm all about because like I've said before, I would like to do more toy photography, but I'm not okay with just doing toy photography on a white slate background. Like I would like to actually like make a scene and it, you know, look good, because I feel like that's the only time that it's worth a damn to look at is when, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, when, you know, it's actual art and not so much you playing with toys.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I am definitely, it's piqued my interest just for the outline of the factor that, you know, this is just army building type deal of street thugs, but they also are like aliens in disguise. And the Kickstarter, I think he said was supposed to hit off in September.
Yes. September. Yeah.
He's supposed to be giving out updates through August here. So I will be watching it closely, but I just wanted to bring it to the listeners and viewers' attention that this is also happening. And I personally think it's a cool aspect. Like, and this isn't one of those things where I'm looking to kiss like a YouTuber's ass or anything of that matter. Like I actually am generally interested in this, not Hasbro related character that I can buy 20 of. Like if I can buy genericy, that's where Mezco and things like of that nature, where they release like their generic kind of like 3-packs of army builders and stuff like that. Yeah. That's where they rock out the most. It's like, okay, cool, I can use these figures with those figures and make a scene and it not feel like I have like 30 Hasbro AIM figures or 30 Hasbro Hydra figures. I actually have some street level goons, which is a thing in the comic books. If everybody's forgotten, so I'm down. I'm gonna keep an eye out, see what he has, see what he has in store for the line and what we're gonna get fully articulated.
Yeah,
he said I think 30 points of articulation. I could be wrong. I'd have to watch the video again. What do you think?
Hey, if he can be successful at it, I think that's great. Especially these, if they can be reasonably priced. It's going to be really hard to convince me to pay $30 for a generic figure. I don't see him charging that much. But then again, you know, you factor in costs and everything, and it really is like, yeah, you wish you could get this at $10 because you would buy, you know, 1 million of them, but they'll probably be around $20-$25 when you look at it. And if they're really cool, if they're really good looking, then even better. I went back and forth on that last Kickstarter, that Strike Force one. Yeah. I thought it was awesome, but like then again, I'm also paying $25 for an upgraded, you know, G.I. Joe. And even though I think that that's sweet, I just am not there yet. Right. With doing that. I think in this one too, it's just gonna be hey, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna look like? How much is it gonna cost? You know, am I gonna get 4 figures for $100 or something like that? You know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I like the idea of the street humans. I think that's kind of funny, kind of clever, especially with the like alien background and whatnot. So yeah, definitely going to keep an eye out for it. And go from there. I know I was telling you, like, yes, I know of Shartimism Prime, but he's not one of the guys that I've ever watched. Right. And it's not that I've went out of my way not to watch him. It's just as a like YouTube recommendation, he's never popped up, and so I've that's crazy. You know, yeah, I know that's the crazy thing, because like I've watched Pixel Dan, I've watched Toy Galaxy, you know, and some of these other ones. Yeah. And I was just telling you, the Fwoosh guy just finally popped up in my recommendations, you know, like last week. So it's just crazy to me, you know, these that are big time reviewers in the toy world, the collectible world, and I just haven't really dipped my toe in on them. Right. So I mean, good for him to be able to do something like that. You like to see people who are passionate actually get into this, to be able to do that sort of thing. How awesome would it be if we did something like that? You know,
Right.
I mean, that'd be cool to me, especially to work with someone who worked at Hasbro, who's, you know, known.
Yeah. He's got that
who has
inside knowledge that,
that
you need.
reputation and the knowledge. Absolutely.
So yeah, no, well, I mean, I'll keep bringing it to the table when he drops information. I'll bring it to the table and show you guys for sure. Cause like, I'm all about this. Like, I'm all about the Kickstarters, like I said before. And as long as the price is reasonable, like if $25 a figure for a 6.5 inch figure, to me, that's not terrible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of the going rate right now. You know,
Right.
I know some of those others I was telling you, or Action Force, I think is the Sergeant Slaughter. Same thing. Like Sergeant Slaughter costs about $30, a little over $30, and some of those other figures cost that. You know, you really got to be, hey, am I willing to spend that extra amount of money when I can buy G.I. Joe Classified for $22?
Right.
You know, that's the gamble that you take with these sort of things. You know, 25 seems reasonable.
Right. Talk about gambles. We're gonna get into some gambling plastic routes here. Talk about Mattel and their own personal Kickstarter crowdfunding thing of the WWE Ring, which apparently has only 16 days to go as of this recording on Friday. It's sitting at 37% with 1,894 backers.
You just got a few. You just got a few more. So we kicked it up to 38% now.
Okay, 38%. All right, so it's 16 days, and then they just revealed the Macho Man announcer pack, which, like, I think got brought up about in the premiere episode of this thing was, give me an announcer pack. And I think you brought up Bobby Heenan and
Gorilla
Vince
Monsoon.
And Gorilla Monsoon. I don't think anybody in their right mind thought about the stint that the Macho Man did on commentary as well. And when this popped up, I was like, oh yeah, like I get it. Oh,
yeah, right.
The entrance, I don't know if you've seen, it lights up.
It lights up.
It lights up.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I rewatched the video when I saw the announcement for Macho Man. I really like what they're doing here. And this is like this is kind of an initiative.
Right.
It's not, hey, if we reach this many, you're going to get them. It's, hey, this is the incentive. If you do this before, I think August 13th, you're going to get them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really surprised that it's not even close to hitting its goal, because they only need 5,000. And I'm like blown away that as big time wrestling fans are with collecting this stuff, that it just hasn't exceeded that in a couple days. I'm sure they're pretty surprised too.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing that I've been noticing, right, is the marketing of these crowdfunding projects. I have seen very little, if not none, from Mattel themselves. They're not pushing this like the Haslab Galacticis. Like I've my news feeds on all social medias are just Haslab Galacticis just thousands of times over again. Not once, unless it's posted by some other outlet, have I seen anything about the Mattel ring. And I think that's honestly that's hurting them in the long run here, is not taking out those advertisement points. Like,
right.
I'll personally sit here and tell you, hey, yeah, I'm totally against taking out ad time and all that shit again on Facebook, because like that's just it's annoying. Doing all that. Yeah. You shouldn't have to do all that. Personally speaking,
and it only goes to your followers. It doesn't.
Okay, no, we gotta get off this because I'm gonna go on.
I'm sorry.
Huge tangent of just get all green. I'm very fearful that this is not going to get backed. Definitely not going to get the Doink the Clown Ultimate.
Yeah, right.
Which is a bummer. Personally, like if I had extra space, I would back this out of just pure nostalgia purpose, and the factor that this ring is just insanely detailed down to the
man.
the 2x6s in the ring itself. Like it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like I don't understand why. Like more, like you said, more wrestling fanatics aren't backing this, because it's such a cool and such a nicely done aspect. And you get WrestleMania, ring apron, and what Bash at the Beach.
So what ends up happening is like, so you have the Ultimate Doink after I think 6,000, and then after 7,000, I'm really surprised they went this way and they didn't turn it the other way. You get those ring aprons like after 7,000. So like you get you get like the regular one, and then you can get like an in your house, and then maybe the other one is Bash at the Beach or something like that. So yeah, the turnbuckles, everything about it. I watched the video and I actually was like, I would rather buy this than Galactus.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just really cool. And putting Macho Man in there with it, like that's, it was tempting. It's tempting. Like I'm honestly thinking about it, which is weird because I'm like, I don't really collect wrestling figures, anymore. I mean, as a kid, I do. I still have a box of them sitting behind me, but, I don't know. It's that nostalgia, man. It's to have a ring like that. I loved the wrestling rings. To me, this like is a no-brainer, and I'm really surprised that they haven't hit it. Yeah,
I as a kid, I've always wanted one of the wrestling rings. Whether it be the Attitude Era one from Jack's Pacific, is that who released them back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Or anyone. Like, I wasn't picky. I'll take SmackDown. I don't give a crap. But I never had one as a kid, and it's kind of one of those underlying longing terms of like just, getting one. But now that I'm 34, the $40 ring, I can't justify a $40 ring. But something as cool as this $250 crowdfunding initiative, I'd be like, if I had the freaking room. Like, there's no way no way Janelle's gonna allow me to stick this size ring on the coffee table in the living room. That's just not happening. There's no negotiation there. So, like, if I had the extra space, I would 120% back it, because A, bucket list item acquired, and B, it's an upper scale scenario type collectible. Like, it's not your mass produced kind of thing. Like I said, the 2x6 is underneath the ring. Like, they didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to do that.
That's
I don't
totally
know.
A wrestling fanatic thing.
Yeah, man. So, like, the more we talk about it, the more it's just kind of like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not backing this?
I'm not going to push you to it, because I can only push you so much towards all things. So
right.
You have to come to terms yourself with backing this ring.
Hey, I got to come to terms with a lot of things, $200 therapy, $250 ring.
Therapy this week or WWE ring? Speaking of the crowdfunding, we'll move into the Hasbro side of things with the Marvel Legends and their lackluster reveal in order to push Galactus to the finish line of Nova, which I think most of us kind of were just like, yeah, we'll get a Nova figure with this, because there hasn't been a Nova figure released since like Days of Future Past. So the paint on Nova looks good, but as a stretch goal for a $400 Galactus,
yeah, man,
that's kind of like, showing off the goods on a cold winter day. It's just not impressive.
Right now, as we talk, with 24 days left, 10,806 backers. Target goal 14,000.
10,000. What was it?
10,806 backers.
Okay, it increased by 6 from earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
Of 14,000 needed.
14,000. And I mean, this has been out longer than, I believe, the Mattel Ring. So there's a couple of things that run through my head with both of these things. It's not just this. It's other things in society and the economy that makes me think, like, how when animals freak out before a storm, you always hear that, like, I feel like this is where we're at as humans. Like there's some sort of freak out happening and we just don't realize it. Even though we have the pandemic going on still, like there's something else that people don't realize it. And I think that that's part of it, that people are like, you know what? If you would have done this a year ago, I definitely would have backed it with my stimulus money.
Right.
But now I'm not thinking so much. I have a feeling I got to save this money up. And, it definitely is one of those things. Cause I know we've been talking about it that like for years, people have been asking for a Galactus re-release or a new one, you know, updated version. And we finally get it. And everyone's just kind of like,
Right. Well, I think like Mike said something, you know, the price tag not being so shocking, but if you didn't back the Sentinel, that price tag, like for me, my thought process in this whole thing is Hasbro's asking me $400 to back this thing that I know is going to be Hasbro quality.
Yeah.
Well, $100 more and I get two 12-inch figures that like are just like hands down a way better investment and better quality control. Like I don't know. I cannot justify it in my head. Not even the least bit. Even if I tried to justify it, I cannot justify paying $400 for this figure. And especially like with these stretch goals that they're teasing.
Yeah. Right. I don't know what it is. Even with the Sentinel, like I was a little bit more excited about that, but even the stretch goals were kind of letdowns. Seeing that stuff, and like you said, if I wasn't going to buy the Sentinel at the price that it was at, I'm definitely not buying Galactus. Like I've come to terms with that. I'm not spending the $400 on Galactus. I think he's cool, and I hope you know, for the sake of the fans, not for the sake of Hasbro, but for the sake of the fans, I hope he gets funded because, you know, that's, I don't know, it's something to bring joy, happiness.
Right.
But then again, you know, it's the other collector side of things where I'm going to be seeing him go for $800 or try to, you know, people advertising him. And then, on top of it, like if the economy crashes, you know, it's like, all right, hey, you know that Galactus you paid $400 for? I gave you $200 for him. Yeah.
That's I that's kind of an angle that when big purchases come along, I also think about like the aftermath. What if things go terribly wrong for me? Yeah. And I have to sell off my collection. You know, do I have good odds of getting at least close to my money back in the scenario where, not very often is there a Marvel Legend in a line that like I can go and get, you know, double my money for or triple my money for. And it's pretty much now a common thing that's known when you buy into the line of Marvel Legends or the Power Rangers or any of those mass-produced lines from Hasbro, that there is no investment. And the investment, if there is one, is like few and far in between, because in a year or 2 years, they're going to redo that figure better.
Yeah,
with better paint apps, you know, more deluxe paint apps, whatever, you know, whatever may be the case. So it's one of those things like, it's easier for me to drop $250 on a hot toy than it is for me to drop $20 on a random Marvel Legend in the store.
Yeah, right. No, you're absolutely right. I think for every, you know, $60, $80 figure that you sell, you also have the other one in the wave that you bought that's, you know, selling for $5, $10, $15.
Yeah, it all kind of,
you know, so that's exactly it. Like you're like, oh man, I sold Rogue for, you know, $80, but like
I still have Rock Python that I can't get rid of.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's definitely there.
And you see, if you look over in the corner of my video, I'm allowed to talk crap because there's actually Marvel Legends sitting right on top of this.
I see Frogman.
That's Frogman. Like that's the whole wave. So, I mean, I'm allowed to talk crap because I do buy them.
Oh, absolutely.
And I totally see that. Like, yep, I'm not getting my money back for these things.
No,
unless I was a jerk and I went into like a collector group and go, look what I got, and then be like, $75, it's yours, little man.
Once again, it's the short sale of things, right? Like you said,
yes.
Some of these we don't know what the price is going to be, or when the retro card comes out when they re-release,
right?
That it's like, hey, okay, look at Ares, the Build-A-Figure, and then all of a sudden he got re-released and that dropped. Red Hulk, quite a few others, and now they're saying Fin Fang Foom. We'll see how that goes,
right?
But yeah,
that's actually a really good way to put it. It's a short sale. Like you get the figure and you sell it off right away. You don't hold on to it in hopes that you're gonna make a buku amount of bucks. But you get it and you jack the price, you sell it off, and then you make your short $20 sale profit there.
Yeah, when you look at it, yeah, exactly. How much really did you make? Like $10 in profit? I mean, sure, if you do it a bunch, whatever, it can work out for you. But then all of a sudden, you become the thing that you hate.
Yeah,
you live long enough to. What's that?
You live long enough
to be the villain.
Oh no! You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't even short sale like actual stocks. So that's not my cup of tea. So that's kind of like, I feel like I'm hitting a collector bridge where I'm kind of like moving out of the mass produced area. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like I'll pick up things that I think are cool, but whole waves with like random characters like Rock Python, things of that nature. Like I'm done with that. I don't even care. You could put the sweetest Build-A-Figure in there, and I don't think I would still buy it.
No, that's just it, man. I've reached that point. You already know that it's like, if I like the figure, I'll get it. I'm not buying waves anymore. I'm tired of you trying to play off my nostalgia because of like my childhood trauma, and this is my way of dealing with it, I guess. So like. Hey, you're making $1 off of me, but I'll just buy the Build-A-Figure off of eBay or something for $60. I'll recognize it for what it is. That it's just like, okay, I'm willing to spend the $60 on a Build-A-Figure now.
Yep, I mean, it totally makes sense to me, 100%. Hasbro also bringing in more nostalgia haymakers and showing us off the Boom Studios 2-packs of the Power Rangers and Turtles collection, which here's my general thought with this whole thing. You just walk into the arena of Turtles memorabilia that's been going on now for I don't know how many years. We have all these figures from all these different other lines that like are just fantastic looking figures, and then come in and drop a figure that looks like you would buy it for a 6-year-old. Like those head sculpts on the Turtles actually made me angry. I was like, this doesn't even look like the source material. Like it looks nothing like it. It looks like they took the Nickelodeon Playmates figures, popped the heads off, and then stuck them on there. And I can hear Mike in the back of my head. Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna just display them with the helmets on. Okay, but the helmet's eyes are red. The comics, they were white. Why are they red? Like it doesn't even feel like the paint department even remotely looked at the source material at all. And I don't know. And then the price point. You're telling me these figures are equally as good as the NECA 2-pack figures that I pay $51.99 for, and you're charging $52.99 for these figures.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you no. Yeah. No, 120 times over again, no. Like, I'm not, there's no way in shit I'm even remotely coming close to touching this line.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I really thought that they were cool. I agree with the head sculpts on it. I like the concept of it, but I saw that price tag, and I immediately was like, well, I know we kind of chatted with Mike about it, and he was like, oh, well, licensing. I'm like, you know what? You're totally right with the licensing, but that's not worth it to me. $53 worth of plastic is not worth it to me. I'm really sorry. And oh my God, those things sold out so fast on Hasbro. It's not even funny, man.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
the moment that they went up to the general public right after they had exclusive, those things sold out so fast. And each day, I was like going back and forth on it. I'm like, do I really? And I was like, no, I don't. Because right now, to me, it's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It really is. That, like you said, I could pay for a better sculpt. If I wanted to pay that much money, I would get into the NECA line of things.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay. So, you know what? Happy for those that got them, but like in the same vein, once again, man, if those are overproduced and the economy crashes, I'll gladly take them off your hands for $20. So
I couldn't believe the price tag. Like I really couldn't. Like
yeah, that's what made me like sick. Like seeing that, I'm going, man, you guys are really just trying to slap me in the face now, aren't you? You know, I'm surprised you didn't raise them to $60.
Yeah.
You know, and just flat out saying $60 for the 2-pack.
It's one of those things. Like you brought up the rights thing and all that stuff, and I can't say that I'm completely stupid, but I'm definitely not smart to it. But how is it that Hasbro charges $52.99, and whether it be licensing issues to that jacks up the price for Turtles and Playmates, all that stuff, and then NECA's charging me $51.99 for better, or I guess we'll say beefier amounts of plastic in comparison to this line, because you know that line is not going to even tally up to the size of NECA's stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a Playmates and Hasbro laugh to the bank moment. That's what it comes down to. Like, they're what they're doing here is they're showing that, hey, we can definitely do these joint efforts together, and you know what? If the collectors love it, we'll be doing more, and then we're gonna get a Hasbro Mattel mashup. You know, it's gonna be something crazy. Like you're gonna get a. I know just recently, it was like the Guardians of the Galaxy annual for Marvel.
Okay.
Had a joke, like a parody of Masters of the Universe in there.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm trying to remember the names on it. They totally poked fun like at it, but you know, in a fun way. They've always done this stuff. DC, Marvel always have done this stuff. With that, the Skeletor guy in it it's Skeletor. It's like just a different shade. And it's hilarious, but like now I can see Mattel and Hasbro linking up, and at some con exclusive, we're gonna get these figures. It's
right.
I won't be surprised, and it's like $60 for the 2-pack.
Yeah,
and they're all gonna just be laughing at us, going, you know how much it costs us to make those?
Yeah.
We just reuse those molds,
Yeah.
I guess these would be all new molds. So yeah, let's factor in that. Molds cost a crap ton of money. No lies there. That's just how it goes. But they're also, I'm assuming that I want to call it like comics, like the print run. The inventory is going to be a lot more than NECA's inventory. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm just assuming because it's Hasbro and it's Playmates. So they're definitely like, hey, this first round sold so fast. We have so many that we got to give out to Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. I don't even know if the stores like GameStop and Target are going to see these on the shelves.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, I think it's mostly along the lines of, hey, let's play with the price point, see if it works. And we'll come up with something, because I really do think that they could have even said 45 and Playmates would have agreed with that or something like, hey, if all I'm doing is buying the license from you and you're not investing in anything else, to me, that's really tough that it's not worth it. But I don't know what the deal is, like, for instance, with NECA and, Playmates, I guess, in this case with the Turtles. I don't know. I that's one of those where you want to be the fly on the wall when you're watching the lawyers go over the contract with it.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
the stuff I love. But like in the same vein of it, how much does it really cost everyone versus the price that they're putting out.
Mm-hmm.
And that price point to me was just not worth it. It's if we keep seeing that increase on things, then I'm definitely not buying in. And
all right, so
you can blame it on exports. You can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. It's just not going to get me.
Here's what I'm thinking. Right? Is Mike showed us those pictures in our chat of the new Ultron and the sculpts on the bottom of the feet and how it's not molded. It's not colored plastic, but actually painted silver.
Yeah.
That price point is $22. Still, average Marvel Legends price point. How come you can do that here, but you can't give me a decent Turtles head sculpt that goes with the actual source material? Because, okay, here's my thing, right? That source material, the whole white-eyed, like very kind of like straight slanted, very aggressive look in the Turtles, I love that. Like when I heard that when they teased this whole Boom Studios Power Rangers crossover, I was excited. And then I felt like I got slapped in the face by the actual figures that they handed over. Like I was like, this is insulting. Like you literally got everybody's jazzed up, and I guess a handful of people were like, oh my God, still. But like I'm over here going, these look like trash. Like these
for what you're charging.
These are at the level of trash as the Power Rangers monsters to me.
Yeah. Like
I will not pay for them. There's no way in hell that I would even drop a dime on these things. And it makes me mad because I wanted to buy all of these.
Yeah.
But seeing the end result, I was just like, how can I even remotely justify being a 34-year-old man buying a line that looks like it's designed legitimately for a 6-year-old?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, oh man, once again, see, that's getting into it all, right? Like that's the downside with this. And that's always been one of my biggest gripes with the collectibles is that it's gone past the point of trying to get new fans. Like they've already recognized that it's just like, no, we're done. Even like those retro figures that Hasbro was trying to put out with the little 3 3/4 of the Marvel figures.
Yeah.
Only 4 points. Their version of the reaction figures, basically.
Yep.
And they were even saying, we're trying to get younger fans involved in them. Those got bought up so much at the store. They're only supposed to be $10 a piece, and you see them resell for, half this price and a half, or even double the price.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. It's just kind of like, I'm never going to be able to really share this with kids.
Right.
I mean, you're paying, okay, if I wanted to get my son and daughter and myself, like 3, that's $60 right there,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that's why the blind bags work so well, man. The gambling blind bag, they give our kids, or the next generation, a gambling addiction. This is great.
Yeah.
But I'm paying $6, $10 maybe. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm stupid. I'm gonna do that. But
right.
that's definitely them. And 20, 30 years from now, when those things get reissued and stuff, and Shopkins become and LOL surprises get retro come out again,
Yep.
they'll make their money. But it's kind of sad to see all that, like, because I'm sure that there's kids out there that you can't say that there's not young Turtle fans, because there are.
Yeah.
I mean, look at 10 years ago when they came out with the Nickelodeon Turtles.
Yeah. Shoot, that covered all generations right there. I enjoyed the Nickelodeon Turtles, so
we could spend a whole episode just on that.
We should.
Yes, dude. I think they're all on Hulu. We could just do a review. That'd be fun.
No. Start from episode 1 and go all the way through.
And just go. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, I'm in the same boat as you. I like them. I will say that I do like them more than you. With that, I agree with the turtle head sculpts though. But I absolutely agree with the price point. Definitely not worth it in my opinion. But
yeah,
I guess we're in the minority because, like I said, they sold out fast.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's a weird thing, right? Like it's so weird that when I actually fall into the minority, because I fall in the majority most of the time.
Yeah.
that it's just kind of like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'm alone in this. But I don't know. Like I said, like they entered the turtle game after I don't even know how long this has been going on. 3, 4, 5 years of NECA like pumping out these turtle figures that like are just like mind blowing, in comparison. Yeah. Even comparing the apples oranges of the cartoon versus the comic, or cartoon versus the movie, whatever it is you say, like you're still stepping into the Turtles arena.
Mm-hmm.
And even like, I don't know if you've seen it, but Hasbro released like an email that the subject line is Turtle Thursday a thing?
Oh yes, you're right.
Like that for me, being like a NECA loyalist, like I was just kind of like, are you insulting NECA's Turtle Tuesday hashtag? And especially like Randy's openly said, like, yeah, I want those G.I. Joe classifieds. Like, I want them. I think they're great figures. And then, like, I don't know. Maybe like I said, I've been being sensitive because of my cat for the past week. So, like, it could be that, too. I could just be being sensitive and going, no, fuck you. You don't fucking talk shit about NECA.
I didn't even think about that. That totally sounds like it's kind of a jab at NECA with that. Yeah. I thought they were just kind of playing on a, hey, we have something more in store. Just wait. But, like, that's so crazy. I just wonder, too, like, you're one of these other companies like Reaction or NECA where you're just kind of like, dude, like, how many more licenses are we going to give out here? Like, what's happening, man?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot because, like...
You're going to saturate the market.
Yeah, it's going to
90s comics all over again.
It absolutely is.
And then all of a sudden, all of your companies are broke.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then who comes out on top again? And then Hasbro and Mattel. Like, that's going to be it. And
it's almost like they're planning it.
Man. Yeah. There's definitely some antitrust situations that definitely will be headed towards. I know prior that there had been talks, the mumblings and rumblings of Mattel getting bought by Hasbro, but the government's kind of... It's all rumor, like I think those are more like what if. That brings in the whole like monopoly scenario, like the Fox Disney merger and all that shit. Yeah, absolutely. Brings that into the play again because like, no, like that would be terrible. Yeah, like, the government would step in. I'm almost guaranteed that they would step in and say you can sell to someone else, and then watch Comcast buys Mattel or something if they don't already own them. I don't even know nowadays. Whoever owns whoever, it's like, Disney owns us. General Electric owns everyone. Who? Oh, GE doesn't own shit. They just did a 1-in-8 trade on the stock and basically screwed a bunch of people on stock. Jeez, man, I don't even know. I don't even remember what big corporations own it. Amazon and Google are gonna own everything now. Yes, so. There you go. Along with Disney, that's gonna be your three overlords. Well, I mean, Apple was supposed to like be in cohorts with Disney. Like they were gonna, like, Steve Jobs was supposed to sell to Disney. I can't remember the whole shebang, but like if that were to happen, all bets are off, dude. Like Disney has control. Like you might as well get in line for your anamorphic ears because it's happening. I pledge allegiance to Mickey Mouse, the United States of Disney. But to get off this heated subject of Hasbro. Welcome to conspiracy. Yeah, we had a very adult conversation. Sorry for that one. Hot Toys, like I said before, a week following the Marvel Legends announcement of the What If line, came out and gave us one announcement for sure, which was the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man 1/6 scale figure. They also teased the Zombie Cap and then the Captain Carter and Hydra Stomper, and I can't remember if there was one else. I can't remember, but anyways, but yeah, so 100% right now as it stands, Zombie Hunter's not happening. I'm not getting that Spider-Man because we're still in that questionable area for me. Yeah. I haven't even seen the source material. Yeah, and you want me to think about buying this already? I don't blame you. There's Zombie Cap's cool, but like that's the only one that kind of like I'm like, Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's definitely the same, man. Like, there's nothing. I told you that Mandalorian Ultimate Collection Edition's been one of the only ones that like actually made me go, ooh. And then I saw the Boba Fett with the chair. You know, I was like, I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. But yeah. Well, I definitely was like, yeah, okay, cool.
They added one more to that list to go with that Boba Fett and to go with that Mando massive accessory pack, and gave us the Luke Skywalker from the end of Mandalorian season 2, which still to this day is one of those scenes where I go, I'm not even the biggest Star Wars nerd, and when that scene played out, I had chills. I was like, holy crap, this is really happening.
Yeah, right.
I'm also one that like I go fuck a Skywalker, like I'm over the Skywalkers. So like with that show being able to do that and drive me backwards in time and be like, holy shit, this is Luke Skywalker. This is another one on the chest of this could break me into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like I could see myself getting this one because that moment that in that episode and that closing out of that season was so epically strong that it literally reverted all the negative thoughts that I had from Star Wars out of my brain for that moment and brought back like what I felt watching the first 3 movies when I was young again.
Yeah, right.
So like that's a powerful thing. I'm a stubborn piece of shit when it comes to my ways, and if you can do that, you've accomplished greatness.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely interested. But like I said, that's one realm that I think if I hit Hot Toys, I'm gonna have to stop collecting other stuff. That's basically how it goes.
Yeah, because if you go hard on those, it's a different type of hard than buying waves of legends. Like
yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, I see myself, you know, buying maybe 1 or 2. Like I said, the Mando really, like that one really piqued my interest and
calls out to you.
I was like, yeah, it does. Yeah, every once in a while. But then I go, okay, all right, I just pre-ordered the Super 7 Joes. Crap, man. How much did that cost me? How much does this Revelation line cost me?
How much was the Super 7 Joes? I can't remember. 55 a pop? Was it 55 a pop?
I think so. So like 220, I think.
I was going to say 220-ish.
Yeah, so yeah, there's that, and then you know, wave 1 of Revelations $90, wave 2 is $90.
Yeah, they're 30 a pop, right?
Those Universal monsters that are coming out from Jada, yep. You know, there's another $100. So it's like, oh man, my my August right now supposedly for pre-orders is gonna be expensive. Yeah, my September's kind of November I'm okay, and then December I'm fine. So like I'm like, yeah, man.
Through this whole year, my pre-orders, because everything with the shipping and everything just keeps it pushing back, and like at any moment if all of them dropped, I'm pretty sure I'd be fucked. Like I'd be fucked.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm just praying to the plastic gods, like just don't drop all these at one time. Like you have to understand that if you do this to anybody, it's going to destroy them. Like just don't, please, God.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm waiting on getting that email day after day from Big Bag Toy Store. Like, oh hey, by the way, we're shipping you that Frankenstein, that NECA Frankenstein. And then also the other NECA Frankenstein, and you know also the thing, McReady.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's. I mean, that's the worst part of all of this is usually it's you can kind of map it out, but with things being the way they've been, all bets are off. Like it's a scary time to do pre-ordering, and it can really kind of like just kind of follow up on you really fast. If you don't play to the side of caution, which like I've never. Life's too short. We don't play caution over here in this house. But yeah, no, that's it. That's all the plastic talk we got for the week. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that bell for notifications, thumbs up, really helps with all that other jazz and helping us get out to different ears, and hopefully they'll listen to us talk this stupid crap for an hour.
Our toy therapy. Right?
Yep. And follow us on our social media. Join our Discord, as John brought up last week, and our Masters of the Universe review. Also, keep a lookout later on in the week, hopefully later on in the week, for our first in a while toy hunt video from Really Cool Comic-Con that we'll be attending as of this recording tomorrow. So that should be hitting your subscription feed here as well soon. And we'll see how much money I spend this time. That was the one.
Yeah, right.
That was the one I spent a lot of money on.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, what have I done?
Yep.
So, yep. Anything else that I'm forgetting about there, John?
Patreon, man.
The Patreon.
If you so feel that you want to help out, support the show. It doesn't support the toy collecting habit. It supports the keeping the show up and running habit. So we definitely, not only are we paying money and collecting stuff, but also in the upkeep and the maintenance of everything else too.
I should have just figured out a way to do tutorials on YouTube. It would have cost me a lot less.
And I mean, hey, if you want to give us toys to review as well, I'm sure that we can come up with a P.O. box or something. I'm seeing everyone else is getting all these. They just put out their P.O. box, and now they're like, hey, even wrestlers. I'm seeing wrestler collectors that collect stuff. They're getting all this. I'm like, come on, man.
Give the actual poor people some free shit.
I know.
Stop giving the rich people free shit. They don't need it. They can afford all this stuff. We sacrifice and eat ramen noodles to buy our plastic.
You eat?
I just pictured that meme from all right, but that will be it. We're signing off until next time we get a buttload of plastic news. I have been Tony.
I'm John.
And we'll see you guys later.